Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Big Blonde and Beautiful, the podcast. If you're new here, my name is Karolina, and each episode I pick a different piece of media with that representation in it and decide if it's positive or negative. This episode, we're going to be talking about the movie The Goonies. But before we jump into that, I'm so happy to introduce my guest for this week, Ashley Rebitzke. In case you don't know who Ashley is, she's a plus-size bookish content creator who isn't afraid to be her most authentic self. She's also high-key a fashion baddie, just saying, and her dynamic content is entertaining, creative, and I'm so glad to have her here today. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you. I definitely have found my style more in like my adult life, and not gonna lie, I'm loving it.
Well, the outfits are everything. I'm like, people need to be talking more about her outfits too, just saying.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what made you decide to start posting online and doing book content and things?
So I used to work a 9 to 5, and to be completely frank, got very depressed, and my husband was like, you're gonna kill yourself. Like, we need to take a step back, and I will take care of you, even if it's a struggle. And so I quit my job, and I was helping take care of my Nana who had dementia. So we moved in with her, and we're aiding her as well. And I needed something for myself. So I was never a reader. I always felt too dumb to read. And my husband actually started picking up old series that he used to read when he was younger. And I saw how much he was enjoying it. And I think it was like at the time that Book Talk was really getting its flowers too. So a lot of people were talking about different books and different genres. And I was like, well, I mean, I like to watch romance movies, so why wouldn't I read a romance book? So I asked my husband, I was like, will you take me to the store to buy one? Fell in love. And then I decided, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to post about this because I just wanted to be like my most authentic self. I wanted to post and also show representation of like being a bigger girl, showing my daily life, not being afraid to be who I am, and then also incorporate my read for loving and buying books.
Yeah. I mean, as we can see behind you, from going from not reading into all that, like, crazy.
Yeah. About the span of 3.5 years, I've collected over 2,000 books, so
was it just
a little bit of a problem?
No, it's fine. Was it just like you never found the right genre, or were there other reasons why you weren't really into reading?
When I was younger, I was a really slow reader. Honestly, I still am nowadays, but I think I have picked up my pace because I'm doing it more avidly now. But
Yeah.
when I was young, I hated picking up books. I think that being told to read a specific book really made me want to rebel against it too. So in school, they're like, you have to read X, Y, and Z. And for me, it was, there's something in my brain that is just like, you're telling me to do it, so I don't want to do it. I don't know what that is, but yeah, hated
Relatable.
reading. Right? And it's funny because my mom and my sister were avid readers. Like, they loved it. And my mom tried tooth and nail to get me into reading. Like, she was like, we just have to find you a book that you like. We'll go to the store. We can buy you whatever. And I was like, no, like, let me play in makeup. And I did that for many years. I was a makeup artist for many, many years. But when I finally got older and I was like, oh, like, there actually is like some books that seem like they would be something I'm into. It wasn't until I actually gave it a shot that I was like, maybe I'm not as dumb as I thought, which I feel like if somebody else told me that, like, I'm too stupid to read, that's why I don't read, I would like want to shake them. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? But knowing from like firsthand experience, like, it is hard. It's hard to like push yourself to do those things because you think like, it's just not what I'm into. And I think that there is a book for everybody out there.
I personally grew up a big reader, like, especially like, I'd say before I was a teenager. But, and of course, as you were saying, you get into high school and then sometimes college and you're like told you need to read these certain things. And I never really wanted to read most of them. There were a few that I liked, but most of the time I would like skim them and pretend that I read them.
Right.
And so I just recently, a couple years ago, started making one of my resolutions for the new year just to read 12 books. I'm like, one book per month, nothing crazy. I'm also not the fastest reader. And I started doing that. And ever since then, I've been really getting into just reading different things and audiobooks because I work in an office.
Are amazing.
And so I listen to audiobooks constantly. And yes, it does count, people.
Yes. Anybody who says it doesn't, also ableist if you're saying that. So shame on you.
1,000%.
But yeah, no, I think the most books I've read in a year was 222, and a lot of them are audiobooks. So
Wow,
yeah, and I'm taking
so
that.
many.
I said no, I read 222 books.
Wow. I'm lucky. I think the most I've read is like 30 something.
Oh
But
yeah,
hey,
that's fine.
everybody.
That's so much better. I think that the average person reads maybe 2 books a year, maybe,
Yeah.
and that's like, I think it's so low because if you were to talk to somebody, I think most people would say I don't read at all.
Yeah. A
So
lot
it
of
just
people
balances
don't.
out. Yeah. So be proud of yourself. It doesn't matter how many you read if you're reading and you're enjoying it.
And I am. And like the literacy, well, no, the illiteracy rate in America is just horrid. I'm
We are
like,
in a literacy crisis. Absolutely, yes.
just find something that it does not have to be the most intellectual book ever. You can read smut. Who cares? So many people read smut.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, yeah. I also was curious, since you're obviously on the book side of social media, what would you say is one book that you found that is overrated and one that's underrated on Book Talk?
Okay, so I don't love saying that a book is underrated unless I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna spill the tea. Unless it's an author that I find to be extremely problematic that is still getting their flowers. So, um, I won't even like say the name of the series because I don't want to give her any more airtime. But
Yeah.
there is a specific fantasy author who is just known to be like not a good person. If you look into her background, you see what she's done to market her books and whatnot. And it is the one person that everybody and their mother is like, you need to read their books, and they always have them on their shelves. So I would say like,
Oh, no.
let's die down the hype a little bit. Let's take a step back and maybe promote people who are good.
Yeah.
And then probably for underrated books, ooh, this is really hard because I think I read a lot of indie authors who, if I'm being like so real, probably write better than like maybe half of like the traditionally published authors out there. And so I love them. Like, let's see. I know that Jessa Hollowell, she writes dark romance. Amazing. If you're a dark romance girly, highly suggest. She has a series that's a Why Choose series, and then she's coming out with her second book in a duology that is just MF, but absolutely love that. I am also a big monster smut person, so I love like Charlotte Swan, and I'm trying to think of who else. I think K.L. Wyatt. They're both indie authors who are so much fun to read, and they're quick, easy books that I think those are the ones that I love to recommend to people who are either just getting into reading or maybe just starting a new genre, because those are the ones that like you want to keep on flipping the pages, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, like I need to read this, I need to know what happens, and it all happens within like a 100-page book, so it's just the best for like a quick read.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like when I see these indie authors who are quite literally doing what they love, I'm like, I want to see them flourish. Like I want to see them become these huge authors.
Absolutely. I'll have to look into those because I'm not a big romance reader. But
Totally
if they're
fine.
like shorter, my mom constantly is like, I don't know, my brother and I both prefer, he's not a big reader at all, but if he does read, he reads nonfiction, and I'm a big nonfiction person. And she's like, I don't know where you got that from, because she's the one who's like reading the fantasy and the romance and all those things, and we're just like, let me learn about cults. Like, I don't know.
But that's so interesting too. I will say, like, those are all interesting topics because funny enough, I won't read nonfiction, but I will watch the heck out of documentaries, or I go to bed listening to a documentary every single night. So I'm like, one day when we can unlock 100% of our brain, I'm going to be so smart because everything I listen to at night is going to come out.
Love that. I'm going to be a freaking genius.
I know. I'm surprised my head isn't massive from the size of my brain.
Today, as I said, we're talking about the Goonies, and I'm going to give a little synopsis for our listeners who maybe haven't seen the movie or haven't watched it in a while, and then we'll get more into the discussion. So, in Astoria, I think that's how you pronounce it, Oregon, a group of friends known as the Goonies find an authentic 17th century treasure map in Mikey's attic. To save their homes from a looming foreclosure by a country club, they follow the map into underground caverns, racing a criminal family to find One-Eyed Willie's legendary pirate treasure. And that's what it's about, folks. So, why did you pick this film?
Truly nostalgia. Like, it's one of my favorite movies. I love it. Every time I watch it, even as an adult, I crack up. It's so funny. It just has those punchy moments. And
Mm-hmm.
there's something about the found family, like, trope
Yeah.
that I love. I eat it up every single time. I mean, one of my favorite books has found family. I have it tattooed on me. It's called Losers, if you couldn't tell. It's very found family. But, like, I feel like that's kind of the vibe of the Goonies, where
Mm-hmm.
it's just these friends who come together to rally and save their town, and there's just something so special about it.
Mm-hmm. You know what's interesting and something I literally just thought of as you were saying that? I feel like there's a lot of movies that focus on like young male friendships. Why I wonder why those friendships just don't develop into adulthood.
Yeah, I think the one that I can think of that's represented in movies that like goes to adulthood would be Stephen King's It,
Okay.
where it's like
I don't
the
do
group of
clowns
kids.
and I don't do
You're like,
horror,
I
so
ain't doing it. But okay, like a little backstory. It's the same idea of like the Goonies. They all come
okay.
together. They do bring in a girl into the group. Maybe that's why they they end up being
Maybe.
friends as adults. It's because
She's
of
like,
the
we're
women.
keeping it together, guys. But they have the Goonies have two girls in their group by the
That's
end of the
true.
movie, so
That's absolutely true. They adopt them.
yeah. It's just so weird because we see those, and I'm also thinking of like Stand By Me, where in the story they talk about how they don't stay together, but I mean, even in real life, I feel like with the male loneliness epidemic, which is a whole nother discussion.
That would be a whole nother podcast
Yeah,
episode.
we need a while to get into that, but I just feel like men need to focus more on building those relationships and friendships with each other. Like, it's so important, and I think it's interesting that we see depictions of that with younger characters, but I can't, other than what you mentioned, I can't think of one that's really with older actors. I guess like they're buddy comedies, but I feel like that's a little
Oh yeah,
different.
like The
But
Hangover or something. But even that, like they're adults who came together. It's
mm-hmm.
not child friendships that blossomed into like long-term friendships.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, kind of off topic, but it made me think of that. But so, um, we have it's this movie's also nostalgic for me. I literally remember watching it in my fourth grade class. I don't know how we got it past the teachers because there's a lot of cursing in this film.
Things were wild.
Um, things were wild back in the early 2000s, guys. Um, but so we're mostly talking about Chunk, who's played by Jeff Cohen, and then we have Mama Fratelli, who's played by Anne Ramsey, and then kind of Sloth, played by John. I literally Matuzak, I think is how you pronounce her name. Sorry if I butchered that. And so those are the characters that we'll be focusing on. I feel like we have to start with the most obvious, which is the truffle shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
truffle shuffle.
First, you gotta do the truffle shuffle. Come on! Do it! Come on! Do it! Cut it out, Mom.
In case you're not aware, it is a dance that Mouth makes Chunk do before he will let him in the house, and it involves Chunk lifting up his shirt and shaking the fat on his body. Kind of humiliating for poor Chunk. I always feel a little bad. I mean, is it kind of funny? Yeah, but it's bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would say the stuff that was shown anywhere, honestly, anything prior to like probably 2010, extremely fat phobic.
Yeah.
Where it's like everybody used the fat person as their funny fat friend.
Mm-hmm.
And while it is humorous, and it really is, I mean, I cracked up watching it last night when I was doing a little rewatch for this podcast, but it is extremely humorous, but I think if we were to like take a step back and look at it as like if this was happening in real life, like at what expense? At like the expense of the feelings of the funny fat friend.
Yeah. And I think it's also funny just because we've kind of been programmed by society to laugh at fat people. And so I feel like if that wasn't such a thing, we probably maybe wouldn't find it as funny as we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. I think it's almost, the movie almost stereotypes his fatness. Every little thing, even from the first scene that you get of Chunk, when he's pressed up against the window with his burger and his milkshake, and he's smashing it. And it's like, Chunk is just such a funny character in and of itself, but they throw in every little thing they can to say he's fat first and he's funny second.
Yeah. I also find him to just be a very endearing character in general. Obviously, his friendship with Sloth is, like, really sweet.
Sloth? You're gonna live with me now. Huh? Yeah, I'm gonna take care of you. Because I love you.
I love you, Chunk.
I will say, with, like, stereotypes and stuff, I find that both Chunk and Mama Fratelli, they're kind of, like, opposite ends of fat stereotypes. Like, Chunk is the classic, like, clumsy, food-obsessed, funny friend, and Mama is, like, on the other end, this evil and cruel villain. And a lot of the times, the fat people are either the villain or the funny friend, and in this one, you get both.
Especially because, like, I feel like with Mama Fratelli, you don't see, like, obviously, she's one of the masterminds behind, like, their little trio gang. So she has her 3 sons and then her. But for her, it's like there's no male partnership. There's no mention of, like, you know, like, I'm this badass woman. Instead, it's more so, like, just pure evil, which I think I can understand from the standpoint of, like, well, she's supposed to be the mean, bad character, but I 100% agree with you where it does feel stereotypical.
Yeah, there's not really, like, sort of this empowering message, because I guess you could argue that, like, kind of, like, I'm thinking of Ursula as, you know, like, a fat villain. Like, I kind of love Ursula, but Mama Fratelli, like, there's nothing about her that I like.
No.
She's
not
just
good. Mean. She's really awful.
She's just awful to literally everyone, including her family. She's horrible to all of them. Sloth is the worst, obviously, because he's literally chained in a basement.
Yeah.
And she also calls him fat and stupid at one point in the film. But yeah, she's not anyone that you're rooting for.
No. And insane that she calls Sloth fat, because aside from his, like, actual deformities that are on his body, he's not. Like, if you were to just look at him, I'm like, that's insane.
He's literally played by an athlete. Like, a football player. Like, he was not, no. And then ain't it always either the fat people or the formerly fat people that are just the most fat phobic? It's so fun.
Yes. It's secretly hidden in people. I've known a little backstory about me. Like, I have gotten a gastric bypass, and so previously I was doing, I was gonna say, like, weight loss content, but it was more like lifestyle, and I think I was just showcasing, like, okay, like, you know, I have lost this much weight, but with that, I'm just like, this is still, like, my identity. Like, I'm still, I feel like I'm me first, and then, like, being big is just part of me. So I think, like, when somebody tries to, you know, make fun of me, and their first comment is like, you're fat, I'm like, and you have anything else to say?
Nice observation. So yeah, genius. I've never been told that before.
Right? What? Oh my goodness. But I have seen so many fat people lose weight and become a traditional size, like an acceptable traditional size, who are then preaching that if you're big, you're gonna just kill yourself. And I was like, you know the struggles that people go through.
Yeah.
You know that there's so much more than what you eat and how you exercise. Like, it's been scientifically proven, and yet because you're beating a statistic, you then are turning around and belittling the group that held you up for most of the time. I mean, like, we rally around other people who are marginalized and who are picked on, and we stand together. And I feel like it's just like this. It's all internalized. It's internalized fat phobia. They hate themselves for it, and so I try not to let it get to me. But no, absolutely, you see that, and then you see it in movies too, where, like, how you're saying, like with Mama, she's calling somebody who is clearly not fat as a way to belittle him, and it's a crazy concept.
I know. When I tell my thinner friends, like, those are the worst types of people sometimes, is other fat people, they're like, why? And I'm like, why are queer people some of the most homophobic people? Like, it's
Yeah.
literally just so internalized, and you hate yourself. And so, therefore, if you see someone who is like you but is happy with themselves, or at least presenting to be happy with themselves, you get upset and then you lash out. So, it's literally just them being not happy. And
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
craziness. But yes, Chunk, he is just a little guy, and I love him, and I think he's
I
so. Listen,
know.
I know the fat funny friend is just so overdone, but he's like one that I would just give a pass to, honestly.
Oh, I love
My
it.
my
It's so
favorite is
good.
when he's at the blender and he's like confessing all the things.
He mixed up all his fake puke at home, and then I went to this movie theater, hid the puke in my jacket, climbed up to the balcony, and then I made a noise like this. And then I dumped it over the side on all the people in the audience. Then this was horrible. All the people started getting sick and throwing up all over each other. I never felt so bad in my entire life.
I'm beginning to like this kid, man.
my
I was
favorite
like
part.
crying laughing. It's so funny.
And then even the one
That's
guy's
so
like,
bad.
I kind of like this kid. And I'm like, you can't not like Chunk.
I
Like,
know. It's just so like his whole entire character is so endearing. It's yeah, he's one of the most lovable characters on there.
he is. He's also, as you mentioned, very food obsessed. We see him at what you said when the opening credits, like the police chase. He's eating a burger and milkshake, and then he smushes it. Then we've got him just shoving potato chips in his mouth. When he gets to Mikey's house, and then there's the ice cream in the freezer, where he's so focused on the fact that there's ice cream that he doesn't notice the dead body.
Name's written all over it, but I'm getting out of here. I smell ice cream. They got Swenson, there's mud, and they got chocolate eruption, and they got apple, and they got grape, and super duper chocolate eruption, and
In the back of the freezer until it's too late. And yeah, he's just they really hammered that one in.
Oh, I think I would say in probably like 85% of his dialogue, he has to make some mention of food.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, we can't have him say something unless it's like, I'm hungry, guys. I need to eat. Oh,
Yeah.
let me go get something to drink. Soda, like whatever. There is always mention of food with Chunk, which, I mean, I'm sure you can probably like relate to this, but growing up fat, there are times where I think the idea that some people have who have this fat phobia is like, if you're fat, you're constantly thinking about food. And it's like I think that's where it comes from, like what I said before, where it's like you're fat first to people and then like yourself afterwards, where it's like, if I would go out to eat and I would need a to-go box, it would be like kind of looked at like, oh, like you're not going to finish your food. It's like, I'm full. Like maybe my skinny friend finished her food, but I'm done. But that's
Literally.
it's the idea of like, oh, like, no, you're fat, so you have to fit into this box.
I remember like sleepovers that I would go to when I was younger, and I would do my best to make sure that I was eating less of the snacks than my skinny friends.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want them to be like, damn, stop. Like, that's why you're fat or whatever. But yeah, I've definitely, trust me, we're very conscious of the fact that we're fat. Not only because we've been shamed for it our whole lives, but also it's just literally thrown in our face every single day.
And then in media too, constantly.
Yes.
And I think we're kind of seeing that come back around where it's like,
it's so
we're
bad.
seeing extreme, skinniness.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even call it skinniness half of the time, but
yeah, it's like, again, the thing where and I can't speak for men who are fat, but for women, it's either you're fat until you get to the point where you're too skinny. I feel like that's really the line where people finally stop telling you that you can lose some weight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like so frustrating.
I've heard the rhetoric a lot that a lot of people who are overweight and then do lose weight to an unhealthy amount, especially if they can kind of combat that, right? Because like a lot of people are dealing with different food addictions. So maybe it was binge eating that turns into anorexia or a bulimia, whatever it may be. And they get to a point where they're so unhealthy, they are getting the most praise that they ever had in their life.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part where it's like, it's so sad because it's like, you were more able-bodied at a bigger body. You could do so much more because your body isn't quite literally shutting down on itself. But people don't care because they see you as, again, fat first and then who you are as a person afterwards. And I think it's so disheartening when you hear that, because I think that there are times that I'm like, I can do X, Y, and Z that I couldn't do before or whatnot. And I have friends who almost need to take a step back and like take a break or whatever before me, but that's just it's not what people are seeing. Like they're like, oh, like it doesn't make sense that she's skinny, and I don't know how to put it into words, but it is. It's
and I get what you're saying. It's also has to be such a mind fuck and makes it so much worse when you are at such an unhealthy level with an eating disorder and you're being praised. Like, you're like, I'm doing what I need to do. It's just fueling that. And it's like, it's so insane. And
absolutely,
I feel like it's just getting worse lately. One of my previous guests who I just, as of this recording, the episode hasn't come out yet, but it will come out before this one. We did an episode on Rutherford Falls, and it's on Peacock. Well, if you have ads on Peacock, you know, she's like, it's so ironic that I'm watching this show for this podcast and like every other commercial is a GLP-1. I was like, I know.
Everything.
I'm sorry.
Everything.
It sucks. Literally. And so
crazy.
It is craziness, but we got on a little tangent, but that's okay. Back to the Goonies. I actually did an episode on the Goonies on someone else's podcast, and she pointed out that something that I didn't notice, I don't know if you noticed it in your rewatch, but when the Fratellis are chasing the kids, I think specifically at the point where they're like at the water thing with the log, there are pig noises when they show the Fratellis, like Mama Fratelli.
What is this?
Keep going, guys. Oh, great. No way.
It looks like a protest or something.
Oh, I did not hear that at all.
Yeah. She told me that, and I also hadn't noticed it, and I was like, and I went back, and I said, there sure are. Awesome.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's like, almost like that subconscious, because I'm sure that like they are knowing that any type of like background like music or like backtracks are not really that's not the main focus in the scene. Yeah. So they're almost being like, hey, like she's fat, like there you go.
Yeah, and it's like you're not really focusing on that, as you said, but it still is informing you about the scene and about the characters that you're seeing on screen. So like even if you're not consciously taking it in, you're still like unconsciously, and so I was like, what was that about, guys? Why did you do that?
That's crazy. Yeah, I'll have to do a rewatch now again today.
I know. And then also something I wanted to talk about was the actor Jeff Cohen. He has like lost a significant amount of weight since he was in the movie. I mean, he was a little kid, he probably still had, baby fat and all that stuff. But now people will like, the headlines will be like, from chunk to hunk and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'd take chunk. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I think that also comes back to like the male gaze versus like the female gaze. And, like you were saying earlier, like you can't speak for fat men, but I think the biggest thing, and this isn't to like play down what fat men have to go through, because I'm sure
Mhm.
that there is teasing, that there is
Oh,
bullying,
yeah.
whatever. But I think when you look at it as a society, there is much stricter standards for women.
Mhm.
And so for him, like, it makes sense that he's being praised, where it's like as like maybe social media or maybe like traditional like print publishing is saying these things, but I think that the typical woman would be like, there's nothing wrong with a man that has
Yeah.
extra weight on him at all. Whereas like the typical male is quite the opposite.
Mhm.
I think I would get a lot of the would never date you in public, but would hit me up online. Oh,
Oh,
like,
they love to
let's
do that.
hang out. And I'm like, oh, now you like me.
Mhm. No, trust me, my DMs are filled with proposals for sometimes marriage. I'm like, okay, you don't know
Hello?
me, I don't know you. No, thank you. Or yeah, they're just creepy. I just
Yeah.
recently made a post on Instagram that was like, please, the girls, the gays, and the theys, come save me, because I've had
Somebody help
so
me.
many men, specifically straight older men,
Ugh.
following me and like being creepy, and then of course some of them get real butthurt, and they're like, and
It's
I'm
my
like,
favorite
those are the
pastime.
yeah, I was
Butt
like, those are
hurting
the
straight
men
white men.
that I would like to leave my platform, and they're like, unfollow. I said, okay, bye. I didn't
Bye.
want you here. That's why I
Bye.
made the post. Get out. And
You
they're
know, we were
like,
just joking that nobody is the biggest man hater except for your like married friends. And I was like, I got married and I love my husband down. He is the sweetest person ever. But now I'm just like, men suck.
yeah. You're like, not you, babe, but they all are horrible.
He's there too, and he's just like, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I would pick the bear too. I love that. But that's the thing. I even made a stipulation in my like description thing. I was like, I'm not saying all men. I'm not saying all my male followers. I'm just saying I would like for my stats of who follows me to reflect more of who I am and who I want to reach, which is women. And yeah, so I was like, please save me. And yeah, they were really upset. And of course, one of them's like, I mean, this wasn't exactly what he said, but the gist of it was, well, you're fat anyway. You should just be happy that I like you, but whatever.
Oh, hello?
And I'm like,
interesting thing.
For real. And I'm also like, that's literally fat phobic. And you're just proving my point. They loved, like with Samira's content, they love to just prove her point in the comments.
Absolutely, yeah.
Have you looked at her comment section?
It's always disgusting. It's always
horrible.
Disgusting. Yeah.
I commend her. I want to have her on so bad. I'm trying to find a way to reach out to her, and I hope that she's interested. But I commend her so much for continuing to make her content, because people are awful.
Oh yeah.
And
even her mutuals, yeah. I know she was mutuals with somebody who made a video in a fat suit making fun of her content. And I said, how can you be mutuals with somebody and then just blatantly disrespect them like that?
Yeah.
But you know what?
That's
Again,
horrible.
it comes down to like, damn, a fat person can get skinny, but you can't get prettier. Sorry.
For
You're
real.
fucking ugly inside and out.
We
Sorry
can
about it.
lose weight. Your personality is fucked, okay?
Yeah.
Like literally. But yes, I commend her so much for continuing. And then of course she's also been a very open critic of Old Navy and the fact that they have like taken back their plus sizes and things like that. And now Cardi B is in a new Old Navy commercial and people are trying to drudge that drama back up. I'm like, let this poor girl have some peace. Okay?
Yeah.
Leave her alone, guys. But which is why it's so important to talk about stuff like this, because I'm telling you right now, it's still a freaking problem.
Oh, absolutely.
And obviously, we're filming this in October. Not October. Hello. Oh my god.
I can't wait though. I
wish it was October.
I
love fall. We're filming in August. My bad. Which is Fat Liberation Month, and it's just like, I just keep seeing so many amazing things, and I wish it could just continue throughout the year. But then also there are people who just want to tear us down, and
yeah. And I think, I mean, it comes down to the people who are so threatened or upset to see a fat person doing well.
Mm-hmm.
there's something just wrong. I think that there's some type of, they need to come to whatever type of God moment you have, because like, yeah, there's something that they are internalizing that they hate about themselves, that they can't fathom to see other people succeed because they're not fitting their perfect standards. So I think, I'm not sure about other people who are, overweight or who have grown up fat, but I think now that I've hit my 30s, that I used to get told a lot, like, when you hit your 30s, like, it's just so great. And they were like, you're going to start loving yourself more, like, you're going to just feel so much better. And I was like, really? Like, I feel like 20s is the time you have fun and like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
There is just some type of wall that you crawl over in your 30s. And it truly
I'm so
is.
excited.
It is. It's liberating. It's so amazing. And I'll tell you what, like, being called fat, being like, especially when that's the main contention that people have with me, is like, because of my size, it's almost laughable now, where I'm just like, you can't hurt me. Also, I grew up fat. I dealt with this shit. And it's like, so if you think that I can't come back, if I can't come toe to toe with you, what do you think? I've been preparing my whole life for this.
Exactly. And yeah, same, grew up fat as well. And I've heard it since the day I was born, guys, from all angles. You can't get me. But yeah, it's just, and then the crazy thing, which I wanted to like mention, with trigger warning for SA, just briefly, that the fact that people still don't see fat people as a marginalized group, or as a group that is, what's the word? Where I can't think of the word. Anyway, like, I just recently saw a girl who was like, went public with the fact that she was assaulted, and because she was fat, people in the comments were like, there's no way that you were assaulted, or they were just like, just tearing her down. And I'm like, it is hard enough to come out publicly and say that you were SA'd, but to have people in the comments telling you that you either deserved it or it didn't happen because of your weight is absolutely diabolical.
Yeah.
And it made me so mad.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That is disgusting, for lack of better words. It's a disgusting thought process, because I'm sure, and just getting your vibe, I'm like, we believe victims here.
Absolutely.
But, I think when it comes down to it, like, people are just evil, man. People are evil. It's like the thoughts that they're thinking, these things that come out of their mouth. I'm like,
I feel like in some ways, I hate to be this person. God, I'm gonna sound like such an old lady, an old boomer, but I feel like social media has ruined us in some ways, in the fact that we don't think about who's behind the screen before we comment. And I try my best to never comment anything negative, because I'm like, I don't know what that person's going through. Also, if I don't like something that you're posting, I'm either just gonna click the not interested button,
scroll past it, block, whatever.
Yeah, I've blocked people simply because I'm like, I keep seeing their content and I'm not interested, and Instagram or TikTok is not getting the memo that I'm not interested in this, so I'm just gonna.
Oh yeah. But I mean, like, kind of side note, but like similar to this is, TikTok kept on pushing Conor McGregor content on me because he had his fight. Yeah. And I was like, not interested. And it posted like 4 different times for me. And finally, I put not interested, and it said, why? And I was like, because he's a rapist. Stop showing me
I didn't
him.
know that.
Oh, yeah, he's awful. I'm like, do not show me this man. And guess what? It stopped. But that all to say, it's like, it's very easy to scroll past something. I think, I have a little bit of like a combative nature, so I will go toe to toe with somebody if they're in my comments acting a specific way. But other than that, I will you won't catch me going onto somebody else's page to belittle them.
Yeah.
I'm like, exactly. What are we doing?
It takes so much more time and energy to do that than to just scroll and move on with your day. And even sometimes in the comments, I'm like, y'all aren't worth it. I'm just gonna block you.
Oh, I
It depends
know.
on my mood for the day. Sometimes I'm
agree.
like, listen
I agree.
here. And then other times I'm like, I don't have the time or energy for you. Oh, bye.
Yeah, especially when it's like people, it's so funny. And kind of like going back to what we were saying before about like the literacy crisis in the in the friggin' world right now,
Yeah.
especially in America. And it's so funny because you'll be fighting something and they're just like, no, like hammering home the same topic.
Mm-hmm.
And you will come back with like, hey, X, Y, and Z, read this through. You would understand what I'm saying. And then they come over here and they're just like, but oranges are better than apples. And I'm like, you are not getting it. At this point, I can't fight with you because there's like nothing in here, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm like, at that point, I'm just like, block. You know?
You're like, you're not trying to understand any other perspective other than the one you've already made.
The wrong perspective.
Yeah, and so, it's just not worth it.
No, it's
Yeah, some people
not.
are never gonna get it. I feel like that's honestly majority of people, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's just like, whatever. I'll just keep living my life, and I'll just block you, and you keep living your life.
Yeah, right?
I hope it works out. It's
like probably the same argument where people, as endearing as like the group of friends is in the Goonies, if you really think about like how Chunk is like treated half of the time, you're kind of like especially like the way Mouth treats him, which is his character. And like
he's
still
just
love
a
the
jackass.
Goonies.
But I also really love Mouth. I don't.
Oh, I do too. And like I will still watch the Goonies, but I think like if this were real life, you'd kind of be like, Chunk, like, hello?
Don't be friends with him, buddy. Yeah.
You need to get out of there. And so I think like people will fight that, right? They'll even say like, oh no, like that's just who they are. And I'm like, but why is that okay?
Yeah. That is, you just brought up one of my biggest pet peeves is when, especially for men, people are like, well, that's just the way he is. And I'm like, why do you think that is? Maybe because you keep saying, oh, it's okay because that's just who he is. Maybe if you hold him accountable, he would change a little bit.
Holding men accountable for their shitty actions.
Yes. And I agree with you. Like, poor Chunk, they are not very nice to him. And even though at times he seems kind of oblivious to the fact, I'm sure that he's very aware. I've been in friendships where it's so weird because it's also kind of like in dating. Sometimes people feel like, well, this is the best I'm going to get, because I'm fat or whatever. And it's like, no, babes, there's so many better people out there. Like, you don't need to settle, even in friendships. Like, sometimes they're just not good friends. And I've had to learn that the hard way a lot. And it's not fun. And I'm hoping if someone is listening to this and is in that situation, they realize they can go and make better ones because it's just not, it's not a good time.
No, it's not. And also you should feel in friendships, in relationships, these are places where you should feel the most comfortable to be yourself and feel comfortable to share who you are. And so this is kind of just going out to anybody who it's like, if you're not feeling that, if somebody's making you feel like you have to hold back from being yourself or hide a true piece of you, then they're not your person. They're not meant to be in your life. And that's okay. It's really, really hard to push past that. And it's really, really hard to give yourself the confidence to say like, I need to take a step back from this. But when you do, I promise you, it feels so much better. Like it's like a weight has lifted off of your shoulders.
Yes. It's, I'm telling you right now, I have great friends now, even though most of them are skinny. I sometimes, I've recently said to a couple of them, quoted the line from Pitch Perfect, where she's like, you guys might be skinny, but you have fat hearts, or whatever. And I'm like, listen, they're also great. And Chunk deserves that too, you guys. And also, side note, another thing that I just realized, Chunk is also kind of the hero of the story. Kind of rescues them. Yeah? Yes.
I mean, yeah, because the Fratellis were like having a leg up and then Sloth came in, so I would say so.
He brought in Sloth. He brought in the muscles to get them out of that scrape.
Yeah.
So, in reality, Chunk is the real hero here, guys.
Yeah,
okay.
The screw up that they kept on talking about. They would just hand him stuff to drop and break.
Hey, I bet you guys thought I was gonna drop it, huh? I know you would think that from good old Chunk. You idiot!
And you know what? And you know what? Unfortunately, that is a stereotype that I fall into. I am the clumsiest person. I hate it.
So clumsy. Look, I choose to say like it's my ADHD brain because they do say that you run into stuff with ADHD, and I'm like, That makes sense.
I have
That should be
bruises on my
running in left, right,
leg.
and center.
I have so many bruises on my leg constantly. I'm like, people are gonna think
Just the
that
other
I'm getting
day.
beat up.
I
I'm just
look at my leg. I was like, what is this? Where'd you come from?
must have run into something. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
that's literally. I'm so clumsy, and that's definitely something that I fall into with fat stereotypes. I'm like, damn it. And of course, me, I'm just so stubborn. I want to defy all of them, but I'm like, you know what? Sometimes you can't help it.
Hey, it is
And
what it is.
yeah,
Also, I mean, like, everybody says, like, it's so funny because, like, the funny frat friend is the stereotype, but I'm
Mhm.
like, I kind of pride myself. I'm like, I'm pretty funny. Like, I
I'm
like to think I'm pretty
hilarious.
funny.
I love to be a good time. Like I went mini golfing a couple weeks ago with some of my friends. It was like this medieval times themed place. It was so cool.
What?
And I'm terrible at like I know I'm bad, but I was like, but I'm gonna be damn entertaining while I do it. And I was. And we were cracking up the whole time.
Right? It's like,
I was
watch
like,
me get this hole in 18.
literally
Thank you.
at one point I hit it, and I hit it so hard and it dinged off part of one of the courses and went back into the previous course.
Oh no.
And I was like, yup, and then I was like, that doesn't count, right? And my friend was like, no, that for sure counts as one stroke. And I was like, well, that's rude, but okay. Because I'm like,
so
I'm not here to win.
You hate me.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not here to win. I'm just here to have a good time. So I'm like, you know what? I know I'm not going to win. And guess what? I did not. I got last place. But that's okay, because I had a good time. But yeah, I also kind of pride myself on being funny. I almost said fat and funny. I just mean funny. They don't. Right. It's so weird that those things like go together. But I also think it's because we sometimes, at least when we're younger, I don't know if you felt this, but I felt like I had to earn my friendships. Like I was like, I'm fat, so I need to bring something to the table.
You have to act a specific way, do extra. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then I've also talked with some people who are like, my version of that was like creating this like barrier, being mean, like being the bully first before they could hurt me. Yeah. And I'm like, both are valid. Like, it sucks. It's hard.
Yeah,
Growing
absolutely.
up is not easy. I would not want to go back. I know some people are like, high school year. I'm like, hell no.
Hell no.
Frick that.
Oh,
I would
no.
never go back to that.
I have nightmares about high school. I'm 32. I'm like, somebody get me out of this hell.
For real. And it's so weird because I live near my hometown, and I swear to God, every time I'm in there, no matter how much I've grown since I've been in high school, I just revert back to this quiet, like, anxious kid. I swear to God.
You know what?
Anytime I see anyone.
Yeah, I was the same way. I hated going back to my hometown, and as of like within the last 2-3-ish years, I would say, I started going there more, and I found a coffee shop that I absolutely love. I go every single week now, and it's one of my favorite places to go now. Like, I love that town, but it's so funny because prior to that, for all these years, I wouldn't even want to drive past my high school. Like, I'd be like, I'm getting anxiety. Like, I don't want to go there. And I think that I almost just took back the narrative. I was just like, you know what? I'm fucking awesome. And you guys get a little piece of me. So there you go.
I'm amazing, and you're lost, guys. Did you grow up in a small town?
Yeah, like a smallish suburb, I would say. I wouldn't say like full small town. Like, it wasn't like, oh, there's one stop sign, you know?
Mine was full small town. Like, my graduating class was 68 people.
Oh, you're tiny. I think we had like probably like close to like 1,400 in our graduating class. Yeah, we had a big high school. Yeah.
Holy cow.
It was just more suburb than it is like small town.
Yeah.
And I'm in California, so I feel like you're kind of in the hub of everything pretty much, so.
Whoa. I can't even picture having 1,400 classmates. That's crazy.
The graduation was awful because it took like 3.5 hours.
I bet.
I was like, get me out of here.
Ours was long enough, and we only had less than 70 people, and I was like, let's get this show on the road. I feel like, well, I guess that would be hard. I was going to say, I feel like for that, they need to split you guys up, like, alphabetically or something.
I know, right?
But, yeah, anyway. But, so, it's, especially coming from that small of a town, it's very hard for me to, like, see people because they know you.
You know everybody.
But also they think they know a version of me. Which honestly
we're not
was
the same people that we were in high school.
No.
We're not.
And even back then, outside of like school, I was a much more like bubbly and outgoing person. I was very quiet in school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was definitely I'm still a nerd. I don't care. I'll
That's
be a nerd
fine.
forever. And I was weird, and I'm still weird, so I guess those things are still the same.
Whatever.
But yeah. And then the friend groups were oof at times, but basically, yeah, just be your funny self if you're funny. If not, that's cool too. If you're clumsy, me too. Us too.
Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
I think for all the hot fatties out there, because I know you're listening to this hot fatty podcast, yeah. But
yeah.
be yourself first. Don't let people define you by
Be who
your size,
you are.
because your size just, I mean, like, there's just more to love. Sorry about it. You don't like it, I have to squeeze by you. Sorry about it. I'm hot.
That and literally for the millionth time, it is the least interesting part about you. You are so much more. I know that it's just like how humans are built, but like I kind of hate the fact that that's our first impression of people is just physical. And we all do it. Everybody does it.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
it's the first thing that you notice. It's for literally, but it makes me mad. I don't know if there's anything we could do about that, but it pisses me off.
Oh yeah, I feel it.
So would you say for the Goonies that it is positive or negative fat representation?
While I love the movie, and while I think that it will always be a classic and always be in rotation, it is probably a negative for me.
Yeah. Agreed. Will I rewatch this movie? Absolutely. Will I still laugh at certain parts that maybe haven't aged the best? Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah.
But it is negative just simply because of the stereotypes it continues. And I really feel like, I mean, obviously Chunk falling into so many different stereotypes, and especially the one where he's just constantly focused on food. That one just is so dumb to me. I'm like, that's just not realistic.
Especially because I feel like they did give him, like, and I know that clumsy can be like a stereotype for, like, plus size fat people, but I will say, like, they could have leaned into one or the other, and they were like, we're gonna just throw it all in. And so that's what they did.
Every fat stereotype for the fat funny friend, we're just gonna throw it all in the script. I feel like there was not a fat person in the writer's room for this one.
Probably not.
No, probably not. But Mama is literally just diabolical. There's no
evil. There's no redeeming
qualities. None. Zero. So yeah, I would also agree with the negative verdict on that one. I think that's all for this episode. Would you like to tell the people where they can find you?
Yes. So I'm Ashley Rebitzke, and I go by Ashley Rebitzke Reads on social media. So you'll find me on TikTok and on Instagram, and I post bookish content, but also lifestyle content. And if you want another plus size bestie in your life, follow me.
Absolutely. I will have all of those linked down below so you guys can go look for those there. And as I will also have the podcast socials and my personal socials down there. And as always, this is a completely independently produced podcast. I do everything from hosting to editing to finding all the people. So rate us 5 stars, review, share, all the things. It definitely helps push us out into the algorithm, and I really appreciate it. And until next time, stay fat and fabulous. Bye.